Hello everyone. I am going to share some information about the tissues. Tissues is a group of cells having similar structure and functions. In plants and animals, group of cells called tissues carry out specific functions. The example is in human being, the cell of the muscular tissue contracts and relax and helps in the movement. In plants, the cells of the vascular tissue conduct water and food from one part of the plant to the other. There are two different between the animal tissue and plant tissue. The first one, plant tissue. Plants do not move from place to place. Most of the cells and tissues in plants provide mechanical support and strength. So most of the tissue consists of dead cells because they provide mechanical support and strength to the plant. The growth of the plants takes place only in some region. So the plants have tissue called meristematic tissues which divide and help in the growth and permanent tissues which do not divide. The second one is animal tissue. The animals moves from place to place and need more energy than plants. So most cells and tissues in animals are living cells. The growth of the animal is more uniform, so animals do not have separate dividing and non-dividing cells. Animals have organs having specialized function. So the organs have specialized function for each part. The third one is the plant tissues. Plant tissues are two main types. They are meristematic tissues and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue are of three types. They are apical meristematic tissues, intercalary meristematic tissues, and lateral meristematic tissues. Whereas the permanent tissues are of two types. They are simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues are of three types. They are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissues are of two types. They are xylem and phylum. Meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues are found in the growing region of the plant, like tips of root, stem, and branches. They divide continuously and help in the growth of the plant. They are of three types. Apical meristematic tissue, which are present in the tip of the stems and roots. They help in the growth of stems and roots. The second one is lateral meristematic tissues. They are present in the sides of the stems and roots. They help to increase the girth of the stem and roots. The third one and the last one is intercalary meristematic tissue, which are present at the base of the leaves and internode and help in the growth of those parts of the plants. The permanent tissue. Permanent tissue are formed from meristematic tissues. They do not divide and have permanent shape and size. They differentiate into different types of permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are of two main types. They are simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So the simple permanent tissue are made up of one type of cell. They are of three types called parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. The first one, parenchyma. It consists of loosely packed thin wall cells having more intercellular spaces. Some parenchyma cells in leaves contain chloroplast and prepares food by photosynthesis. Some parenchyma cells have large air cavities which helps the plants to float on water. Some parenchyma cells of roots and stem store water and mineral. The second one is collenchyma, which consists of elongated cells having less intercellular spaces and thicker at the corners. They give flexibility and allows easy bending of the different parts of the plants like stem, leaf, etc. They also give the mechanical support to the plant. And the last one is sclerenchyma. It consists of the long, narrow, dead thick-walled cells. The cell walls contain the lignin, a chemical substance which acts like a cement and hardens them. It gives strength and hardness to the parts of. The second one is the complex permanent tissues. They are made up of more than one type of cells. They are of two types of complex tissues. They are xylem and phylum. They are called vascular or conductive tissues. The first one is xylem, which consists of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. The tracheids and vessels help to transport water and minerals from roots to all plants of the plant. Xylem parenchyma stores food and fibers helps in the support, whereas in phylum consists of the sieve tubes, companion cells, phylum parenchyma, and phylum fibers. The sieve tubes and companion cells transport food from leaves to all the plants of the part. Phylum Parenchyma stores food and fibers, helps in the support. And animal tissue. Animal tissue are of four main types. They are epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. The epithelial tissue are of different types. They are squamous, columnar, cuboidal, glandular, etc. Whereas muscular tissues are of three types. They are striated, unstriated, and cardiac muscles. In connective tissue, they are also of different types. They are blood, bone, ligament, tendons, cartilage, areolar, adipose, etc. And in nervous tissue, they consist of the nerve cell called as. Thank you so much.